Oh man. Welcome,
Back
welcome,
at it.
welcome. Yeah, hell yeah, back at it. It's been a little minute. Feel like forever.
Mhm.
Oh man. Tone, what's up with you, my guy? How you feeling, my boy?
Irving, my G, smoking slash little bit of weed. You feel me? For the re-up of the weekend and shit. And then after my birthday, I might take a nice little hiatus.
The good old re-up on the weekend, man. Ain't nothing like the weekend smoke, hell. You just that should be hitting way, way different when you
It
got your own
does.
time to yourself.
Oh man, and that's the thing, yo. Like trying to like stress that shit to like say like for all our listeners that's in like relationships or dealing with significant others and shit like that. Just stressing to them like, yo, the weekend is all that you have, yo. I don't want to do shit but just smoke and just watch football or play the game. You feel me?
Yeah, we all living for the weekend. That shit just sucks because it's like, you be looking forward to that shit so much. If it's slightly deviated, you like, oh man, fuck. like,
Yeah, yo, like don't nobody want to go out. Yo, like niggas don't want to do that shit. Yo, I just want to stay in this house, play this motherfucking Call of Duty Vanguard beta, and just chill, my nigga.
don't let the elements be in your favor where it's like a gloomy day or some shit.
Oh yeah, when it's raining and shit, or when it's foggy outside, dog,
When
that'd be
it's
the best.
and when it's snowing and you got the pack on deck, got some food in the fridge, that shit is amazing. That shit is
Oh,
like therapy, yo.
you talking the language of gods now, my nigga.
That's great. I didn't even introduce myself. So let me cue this thing, kick this joint off. What's up? What's up to all the great listeners out there tuning into another gaming edition of the Two Ninja Kickback? I am Camo the Man, kicking it with my brother from another. Two Phone Tone is in the building, another illustrious edition of the Two Ninja Kickback Gaming Edition. We got a good one for him, man. We basically wanted to talk about a company that me and Tone both hold near and dear, Ubisoft, as the title says, just the collapse of it, man. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened to Ubisoft, but I feel like at one point they was like just delivering that Krenak, like I don't know like what it
Hmm.
is. Like you even look at something like on their smaller tiers, like the Rayman joint. I feel like they had probably arguably one of the best platforming games ever with that whole Rayman Legends joint. That shit was like
Oh,
cold.
facts,
And I,
facts.
I, I even then to like in modern age to try to get into that platformer style and then knock it out the park at such a late age. Like I won't say that was the downfall of it, but I just want to give him some flowers for that shit because that was like a dope game to me.
Oh yeah, Rayman definitely was that crack, especially when it first came out. Because a lot of people fail to realize Rayman was one of them legacy acts. You feel me? That
Right?
niggas was actually looking at like coming off the PS1, PS2 era, was it 64 era, I believe.
Yeah,
Rayman was famous on and
somewhere
shit
around there,
like
maybe
that.
PS2, something like that.
Like coming
PlayStation.
off that, yeah, like just coming off that golden era itself, you feel me? Rayman was one of them games that was like near and dear to like literally a lot of, I want to say late 80s, early 90s babies' hearts.
Right, but Ubisoft has always had them because like as I'm saying that, I'm also thinking about the fact that they had the whole entire Prince of Persia like series. You remember when the Prince of
Yeah,
Persia first came out, bro? Like
yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I think. Well, originally the Prince of Persia game was on whatever, but when they decided to redo it, like I couldn't imagine like just controlling time. Like when they said that concept, that shit fucked my head up as a kid. I was like, oh, what you mean you can control time? I thought it was gonna
Hmm.
be like some cheesy ass shit. You know how they do with games? I was like, oh, you can control time, but it's always super, super, super limited. But I felt like on Prince of Persia, you had a decent, you had some real like time controlling that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I mean, because it was literally what niggas wanted inside of an action adventure game at that point. You feel me? Like
I won't even
when you
say it
want
was what I wanted. I
innovation.
wasn't even thinking about no shit like that. They fucked me up with that one. It's like,
Yeah, I ain't gonna say in front of you. Like back then, like shit was so fresh. Like the
yeah, it
imagination was
was,
just
bro. It
endless.
was,
You
yo.
feel
Like it
me?
really was. Like you not lying.
So like, so a game like Prince of Persia was definitely ahead of its time for real. And not only just that for real, like you said, like the whole idea of just being able to like stop time, rewind that bitch, fast forward, and all that shit. It was beyond a lot of niggas for real. Like,
Yeah. If you really start
damn,
just
I'm
going
really
down,
sitting there thinking
go
about that
down the
shit.
list of just like how many juggernauts and heavy hitters they have, and I'm gonna summarize it up in a little bit because as I'm going through the list, I'm thinking about just how like excluding Rayman because that's a older platform, but you got Prince of Persia, you got the Far Cry series, you got Rainbow Six, you got all these different series that they have, and it's like how many. adaptations do they have of this one particular game? Because as I'm talking about Prince of Persia, I'm thinking about how many other Prince of Persias there were and how many other Prince of Persias sucked versus the one that, like, you know what I mean? When they first announced that shit and you first played that shit, that shit was a godsend. You like, yo, this is the hardest fucking game I've played in forever. And then you played the second one, and the second one was even colder. And then just down the list, it just got super shitty. And it's just like a common theme with them. Like, you look at the Assassin's Creed series too. It's in the same vein as that. Like, it's almost identical to what happened with Prince of Persia. Yo.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm gonna take it even a step with motherfucking Rainbow, like being an all-time Rainbow fan and shit. After how they acquired that shit from Red Storm, the original niggas that made that shit. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
After what Rainbow Six Vegas, it was kind of stale, and then with the
Vegas 2
resurgence
was
with
right.
Siege, yeah, Vegas 2 was the shit for real,
That
but they
probably was
just
the
left
pinnacle.
that shit. It was the pinnacle, but they left that shit high and dry after that. You feel me? After the shit launched and shit like that. What, one Comcast DLC that came out with that bitch? After this shit,
That
it
shit
was done.
trash. But
Yeah,
you know what's funny though? Cause I gotta touch on Assassin's Creed for a second real fast. Cause like even
oh,
inside of
I was gonna
Assassin's
wait on
Creed,
that
yo,
one, but all right.
like I'm gonna get back to what you saying, but like just to like think about that first time you played Assassin's Creed. That shit felt like nothing you ever played. Same thing with fucking Rainbow Six Vegas. It was like, yo, I haven't played a shooter like this. And like these niggas they kept themselves in rarefied air for a decent amount. Where it was like, yo, this game is like something I've never played before. This game is like something I've never played before. This is imaginative. This is new. This is fresh. And then it was like they just continued to do the same shit with every game that they had to the point where it was
Yeah,
like, yo, this shit is trash. I don't want to play this shit no more. Like you just keep
yeah.
rinse and repeat.
What was it? After Assassin's Creed 3? No, it wasn't 3. Which one was it? Brotherhood? And I guess that was two
Yeah,
and a half.
Brotherhood was kind of trash. Like it started to take a spiral directly after 2.5.
Yeah.
Whatever one came directly after 2, that wasn't really an add-on. It wasn't a new game or whatever. Like it's crazy because we give so much praise to shit like 2K and Madden and all that other shit that keeps recycling the same game. But it's like
But
that
it's kind of
shit.
expected.
Yeah, that shit don't really work out the same way when it's a story-driven game and there's other entities outside of it. Like you can
Hmm.
do that with a sports game because it's like, all right, we know the premise of this shit. Sports don't change. It's like now you trying to drop me into the same environment with a different story, but everything is the same. It's the same fucking game. I'm gonna feel like I'm playing the same fucking game.
I believe somebody, I can't remember who actually did that shit, but it was two Assassin's Creed games that was actually the same fucking game. Like it was just with a different fucking skin for real. Like the world was still the same world and everything like that and shit like that.
But that's the
Like,
problem with these niggas, bro. A lot of these shit feel like that.
oh
Like
yeah.
going down the Prince of Persia list, like all the Prince of Persia started to feel the same, and it's like, all right, y'all gotta do something with this series. Same thing. Like the biggest culprit of it, I say, will probably end up being Far Cry. Like if you play Far Cry, like after 3, every single Far Cry is the same shit. It's a fucking crazy psychopath boss. They drop you on this island. You and your friends on. Like it's literally the same game, same plot. You shooting and
Yeah,
killing animals the whole time, yo.
I felt like that for like a lot of the Far Cry games. I'm glad you brought that shit up because after 3, I think Voss was
Yes,
like
yes.
literally the greatest
Pinnacle.
fucking, yeah, he was the pinnacle of fucking video game villains when it came down to some shit. Like the whole ideology and psychology of that nigga was just on 10 for real. And the thing of it was I feel like they get caught up in a lot of shit that niggas in Hollywood get caught up. You feel me? If it's not broke, don't fix it. You feel me?
Hmm.
So with a lot of that shit comes like a lot of rehashing.
Yeah. But see, I think also it's like if you look at like what that nigga was and what he was to that series and how like the whole community fell in love with this nigga and they killed this nigga off way too early. But that's a whole nother situation. But what they did was they got caught up in that to the point where they didn't think, oh, we need to make another character that can stand on his own beside this nigga to show our
Hmm.
game has depth. That's like when
Our team, not even
yeah,
our game, our team.
that's like when the Dark Knight had came out and Heath Ledger, he did his thing as the Joker. So everybody was like, yo, how the fuck you gonna top this nigga? Da, 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 da. And all this other shit's like, you don't necessarily gotta top this nigga. You just gotta have another story or something like that that's equally as enriching. You don't just take the
Hmm.
same plot and just take the villain and try to make him eviler with the
Hmm.
same plot. Like that's dumb. Like,
And damn, that's crazy you said that because I felt like Bane performance was up there with Heath Ledger. I forgot the dude that played Bane for Batman and shit, but his
What was it, Tim Hardy?
yeah, Tim.
Tim
If it
Hardy
was Tim Hardy, whatever your name is,
also
bro.
played
Like,
Venom.
oh shit, there you go, fan. You know, I'm a fan of you, nigga. Straight like that on some real shit, like on some. Because
But
it's
even
it's
that nigga
important.
performance was like supposed to be like, okay, I'm trying to go above and beyond on what the Joker did.
Mhm. But in a way, I felt like he was himself,
Yeah,
and that's what matters. Like even though Heath Ledger had to take, you feel me? It's no like fucking secret. Like a nigga OD'd for real and shit like that. Like the nigga was on substance while he was playing the Joker and shit like that. But the thing of it was, that was still Heath Ledger.
right.
You feel me? You still got that feeling of Heath Ledger in that shit. It was almost like Leonardo DiCaprio and motherfucking in the Django, you feel me?
Hmm.
At some point, I felt like that nigga really owned slaves and shit like that, like how that nigga was moving. It's just how powerful the dialogue can be inside of a story to actually have like character development itself.
Right.
You feel me? I feel like a lot of games nowadays are lackluster when it comes to character development. I don't give a fuck who are the characters nowadays when it comes to certain
Nah, you're
games
not
and shit
lying.
like that. I don't give a fuck about the story. I don't give a fuck about the background.
Right.
None of that shit.
Right. And I think it sucks because, Ubisoft has put themselves in a position where, of course, they got their juggernaut and Rainbow Six for online shooter, but it's like it's gonna be hard to sell a lot of these other games. Like, I don't want to play no fucking new Far Cry if it's not no whole revamp of the whole situation. Like, I'm sorry, I kind of know what this is gonna be about. You're gonna drop me on an island, I'm gonna be just shooting a whole bunch of people and driving around, which is cool. But like you said, niggas don't give a fuck about linear story. And then what's another thing that kind of fucks them up really, really badly too? To go right into your point, it's like it's even harder to give a fuck about the characters in the story when every single one of your fucking games is open world now. It's like
Yeah.
it's like I really
You
don't
got
give a
too
shit.
many motherfuckers for me to even think about even talking
Too
to
many
or even
side
thinking
quests, too
about.
many all this other shit. So it's like I can't even really follow the main quest as much as I want to because you like call me crazy, but I kind of do miss those set top level joints that some games have. I don't need all
Oh
my
yeah.
shit to be open and free roam. Let me just play through this shit and run through the story and kind of get the story that y'all trying to tell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it's just hard for me to think, like, because Ubisoft is one of those top tier gaming companies. And I just feel like they falling off because they're doing the same stupid shit. It's like they're not listening to their customers. They kind of making the same games over and over. If I close my eyes, it looks like EA. Like, they not
Oh,
listening to their community. They just doing what they want. And like the fans are saying, yo, we tired of the same bullshit with this Far Cry shit. We tired of the same bullshit with Prince of Persia, with fucking Assassin's Creed. Like, we tired of it, man. Revamp the shit.
yeah.
Like, just I don't know what I'm not the person that you can't charge me $70-$80 for the same fucking story I keep getting. Like, it's not
I mean, I
enriching.
guess the revamp for Assassin's Creed will kind of be what's
With
that shit?
the
Watch
Japanese
Dogs?
shit that you was saying. Even Watch Dogs, bro. Even Watch Dogs feel
Watch
like the
Dogs
same
was
shit.
Assassin's Creed with guns
Yeah, but
and
it's like
cars and shit like that.
I just hate how like unpolished or unfinished their games feel. It just feel plasticky or some shit, like not really enriching. Like even the
Oh,
level
not
designs, like they got this whole entire open world, and the world doesn't have like a life to it. Like you play GTA, you dropped in that motherfucker, you know it's a vibrant city that you exploring. It wasn't no real vibrant city I was exploring on Watch Dogs.
yeah, and that's the crazy part. Like they really had like a real city, and the only vibrancy that I got from a Watch Dogs game was the second one, and it was only because they was playing like a local artist. Shouts out to I forgot the damn who was it? Is it Take Cobain?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah.
From here.
Mm-hmm. And shouts out to him for actually having a song on Watch Dogs and shit like that. That
That
was
was
like the only
fire. Shouts out
vibrancy
to
I
him.
got. You feel me?
I just think like what they gotta do is they gotta slow down in the open world and they kind of gotta listen to the community a bit, but get some new people involved. Like you don't gotta make an Assassin's Creed game every single year. You don't have to make a Far Cry year. I mean Far Cry game as much as they do. Like what y'all gotta
I
do
heard
is
that.
just
Dig into like the old Legacy Act. You feel me? What is a Splinter Cell?
that's
You can't
exactly what I
fuck
was
up a
going to.
Splinter
That's
Cell.
exactly what I was going to. And I think they can fuck up a Splinter Cell. Like you look at the last two they came out with, where it's like you gotta lean heavier on the Metal Gear element, yo. That's what we want. Like we want the stealthy shit, bro. We don't want to run around with AK-47s and all that other shit. Y'all got a whole nother game like there was that Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, whatever the fuck they got like that. They have a
Wow,
game like that.
Ubisoft fucked up Ghost Recon like
That
that.
too.
You talk about
Like that too.
disappointment, nigga. Like Like,
especially if you know what Ghost Recon came from. Especially Ghost Recon was playing in them Soul Calm realms and the motherfucking like it was playing over there. I don't know how they got to that side, and it's like, yo, you looking at the market, go against the market a little bit, make a stealthier
please.
base, third person shooter or some shit like that. It's because it's needed, and you want to be the first to the party, bro, before everybody start making them.
I mean, shit, you look at how Call of Duty been eating since they came out with zombies. Now everybody has a zombie fucking game.
Exactly. And shouts out to Gears of War for really introducing that horde mode shit. That shit got
Oh
swept
my
up
god.
into everything.
Yeah, everybody had a horde tower defense after a while too,
Yeah.
thanks to Giz.
But like, you gotta set that trend, you gotta trailblaze, yo. Like, I guarantee you, like they sitting on that Splinter Cell entity. It's gonna take a whole nother company that nobody know, that nobody's seen before, that's gonna throw out a little spy thriller game like that that's in the realm of Metal Gear, Splinter Cell. That shit gonna go stupid, and then they gonna try to lean back into that bag, and it ain't gonna work. Like I,
Yeah.
I was actually kind of pissed off when they dropped him as an operator, and I'm a serious Xbox nigga. So you know what Splinter Cell was to the Xbox.
Oh yeah.
So it's like for these niggas to be playing around with that type of entity, and Splinter Cell was a fucking phenomenal game.
It was, yo. Like, and that's the sad part about it. Like, they actually know certain legacies, and just to see how certain shit fall under for real was just, I guess, unimportant or not a necessity. Because when you look at like Ubisoft lineup for real, it's only the big. I want to say four, but it's really three.
I say Assassin's Creed.
Rainbow
I'd be hard pressed
and
to put
Watch Dogs
Rainbow into that
and
shit.
Far Cry.
I'd be hard pressed to put Rainbow in there only because they just dropping DLC.
Yeah, they gonna keep spoon feeding niggas DLC. They doing niggas the Grand Theft Auto treatment with Rainbow.
Like think about when Rainbow Six came out, yo. Like that shit is crazy to think that this is one of the top predominant game companies and they just having issues like this. Like I understand you got like I don't know, yo. It's like you got they got a nice library of games, nice entities and all that other shit. I understand that you want to keep putting your primary money makers out there. Like they wouldn't be putting the games out there if they wasn't making money, I'm sure. But it's like, you got to talk about just, I guess, I don't know what it is, not legacy, but just like the championhood amongst the people. Like, when the people love you, you can do no wrong, yeah?
Oh, facts.
And it's just like, I know niggas don't give a fuck about people because niggas been telling them certain shit. They just don't listen. Like, 2 and 2 equals 4, yo. Like, if everybody's asking for a Splinter Cell game, why the fuck y'all putting all this money into fucking all these other games? Go develop a fucking Splinter Cell game, yo. Like, it's that simple, yo. It's that simple.
I mean, it has a lot to do with the fans also. I mean, because we keep buying into shit. You feel me?
That's true. And, we
Look
are
at how
fickle
hard
fans,
niggas be
too.
going.
Niggas
Oh
that
yeah, we got
scream
fickle
all of this
fans
shit,
and
and then
like
that shit
that.
come out, and niggas don't even buy that shit.
Then you got a lot of niggas who actually get bought by like a lot of companies for real just to go out to certain events and shit like that, and then they'll actually fuck up the community by just going along with the bullshit instead of actually stating the obvious things.
Right? But if you're not going to do nothing with the entity, get off of that shit, bro. Sell that shit to somebody else, yo. Because niggas want that shit. Like, we want the games that we want the entities that we want, and we shouldn't have to go through all this bullshit. Whereas I understand it's y'all entity, I understand it's y'all game, y'all want to develop it how y'all want. But if it's a necessity for the game, your community is telling you want the game. I don't see how like that's just like a you know what I mean, like that's the ultimate dickhead shit. It's
Yeah,
like, all right, I know y'all want this, but here goes Assassin's Creed 15 or some shit like that. Like
here's the thing: we brought Ezio back, but with a twist. He's
it's like,
black.
yo, this is the same story, yo. It's the same bullshit. It's like DLC. I'm like, it's a brand new game, but it's like DLC. And I just feel like that's what a lot of their library feels like now. It just feels like add-ons to the previous
Add-ons,
game.
yeah.
It's
I
nothing
mean,
new.
it,
It's
it
nothing
was.
fresh.
I mean, it was certain game mechanics that kind of changed with the Assassin's Creed that had me a little hyped for. You feel me? When it came to like the little, I guess the removements from like the old Batman style kind of fucking aspect for real to more like an arcadey.
Hmm.
That was kind of cool and refreshing and shit like that. I will give him that, but like when it comes down to just everything else, it was just still ass to me.
Yo, you shouldn't be excited about niggas making tweaks to games versus like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, yo, the story was enriching. It was like the mechanics was slightly better. That's terrible, yo.
Oh yeah. I don't like how motherfuckers play to like certain actual like aspects of like what society is bending
Bro,
to
that
nowadays and
that's
shit either.
exactly what I'm
You
saying
feel
though,
me?
yo.
Like, because to be honest, like I love how some games will actually keep like historical aspects and shit like that for real. Especially when it comes to like the whole black people and shit. Like when it comes to black people, like we've been across the world and shit like that. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I do appreciate like certain historical aspects when motherfuckers is actually well represented and shit like that. But the thing of it is, I feel like a lot of games, and Ubisoft is one of these games sometimes where they push that envelope a little bit too hard and like just kind of show like niggas like, hey, we are allies. You feel me? Like Watch Dogs 2. We got a nigga that just so happens to look like Kid Cudi after all this Black Lives Matter shit started popping up everywhere and shit like that. You feel me?
Right.
Then you started seeing Assassin's Creed. Is it Odyssey? No, it's not Odyssey. Egypt. You feel me? How heavy they was pushing the black character on that one and shit like that. It was like, why are you niggas in Egypt? I don't know, man. Niggas been clamoring for Egypt since like the fucking beginning.
Right. And then it's like inside of that same shit where y'all could have kind of really set shit off if y'all had kind of willed it around to kind of incorporate the Prince of Persia shit. Like, I feel that'd have been amazing.
Mm.
It was right there.
It was definitely right there. It was an alley oop for like, and that's the thing when it comes to a lot of these motherfuckers. Like they're so clueless and out of touch to the point they even miss the alley oops that's passed to themselves.
Right. And it's like, yo, it's your own games. Mix it up, yo. Like, it's a video game. I don't gotta always feel like I'm in some type of suspended reality, yo. Like, I love
Mm-hmm.
crossovers. I love those stupid DLCs and all this other shit. Have some fucking fun. It's a video game. These video game companies is just taking themselves way too fucking serious, man. Like, nobody's making no fun bullshit games no more, yo. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
wants this critically acclaimed phenomenon or some shit like that. And you're not gonna get that trying to rehash your old games, yo. I guess you got your products that sell. You know, if you're looking at it as a business situation, Sprite sells regardless. So every year they putting out Sprite. You get what I'm saying? Every year we gonna put out Assassin's Creed because we know niggas gonna buy that shit. Like
And
that's gonna
here's the
make us our
thing:
money while we working on other entities.
the product with Sprite is fucking good, and that's
No
the thing.
complaints,
Like,
right?
yeah, it's no fucking complaints. Like, at least when I could sit back and I could judge like certain companies like Naughty Dog and shit. Naughty Dog actually sits back and they take time with their games. So they actually learn from the mistakes that they actually done. And then they'll come back 4 or 5 years later
Mm-hmm.
stronger. You feel me?
Right. And it's like, you know what's funny? It's like how can I respect your premium entities when you do that shit? Like if they's laid back and it's like, all right, man, we've been working on this Assassin's Creed game for the last 5 years or some shit like that. You know you went for something good.
Hmm.
It's like
And
I
that's
don't
what
niggas only get
the whole
excited seeing
rehash was
Assassin's
a little
Creed,
bit.
yo.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when niggas kept saying, yo, like Ubisoft, take a break. Activision, take a break. We don't need a Call of Duty this year. We're good. Ubisoft, we don't need Assassin's Creed. We're good. Work on Division. Find a way to make Division playable and enjoyable.
Oh
You
yeah, I
feel
forgot
me?
about Division. Like I totally forgot about Division. Yeah, that too.
You look at Division, like Division is it's withering in the wind too for real.
The
Like I
crew
feel like
too. The crew is
yeah, you
withering in the
look at
wind
the
as well.
crew.
And that was highly promising, yo. Highly promising. I was looking at the crew like, oh shit, the crew might be it, yo. Doo doo. Like every time they try to put out some shit to get us excited, it's just like the games don't feel that enriching. I
It
thought
doesn't.
For Honor was gonna be something. I don't see nobody on that shit. Like it's so many other entities, yo.
And that's the thing. Like For Honor had so much fucking potential, and that was the game that won me over for E3 when they announced that shit and they had that shit showing. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And just to see how For Honor is just transitioning to what it is nowadays for her, it's like it's nothing new on it. Like it's yeah, it's new people and shit like that, but like there's nothing new to enrich the experience for real. Like the mechanics is still the same for real. Like I'd at least expect like some new swinging mechanics or something. You feel me?
Right, right,
Different styles or some shit, especially when it comes to like actual combat itself. You feel me? Like shit is too predictable.
right. But they don't even take the time to do that.
Mm-mm.
It's just crazy because it's like they want niggas to spend all this extra cash and all this other shit. And it's just like, yo, I'm not getting it back. I'm not getting these hours that I used to get out of these same joints. It's like, I don't even think niggas is really beating a lot of these games, man.
Oh, how? And that's the thing, yo. When you talk to a lot of niggas, yo, a lot of niggas don't be beating games, yo. I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of them niggas that's guilty of that.
I'm talking to a nigga who
When
still ain't
you,
beat Red Dead.
oh, yeah, yeah. Damn, I keep forgetting, brother. I keep forgetting about that shit. I mean, but hey, yo, it's a lot of niggas that's like that. You feel me? Just a lot of games nowadays is either too fucking boring, they're too fucking big, they actually hold a nigga's actual attention span or some shit. But like you said, game companies just try too hard instead of just keeping shit just simple.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at the trying too hard part, but I'm like, yo, have your simple cult classics too, bro. Like, have them simple, get on there, have a blast games that niggas used to have, yo.
Mm-hmm.
It's like niggas has been talking about like just the lack of like, I don't know what it is, just like joy, the lack of joy that's going into video gaming now. It's like there used to just be a joy that was looming around. Now it's just like, I'm gonna skip this, I'm gonna skip this, I'm gonna skip this, I'm gonna skip this, I'm gonna skip this.
Yeah, that's
yo,
literally
I
every
already know what
game.
I'm getting.
It's literally damn near every game when it comes to story mode, yo.
Yeah, unfortunately. And it's like, see, these is like that. That's why, like, see, for me, if I was a PlayStation nigga, that's who I think a lot of these games probably service. It has to be because it's like I really can't see niggas that's like really heavy into multiplayer, into the competitive side of things. Maybe that's what it is. It's just that part of it.
Mm.
I'm more so like competition, so I don't want to really sit down and play a old ass, boring ass story or Far Cry 5 or some shit like that. And you gotta really
Mm.
grab niggas to bring niggas into like go through your story and all this other shit. And I just hate to say it that a lot of these games they can't really pull niggas in how they used to.
Yeah. I wouldn't even like put a hate the said stamp on it. It's actually just honesty. You feel me? Like you look at it for real. Like what has any of these like in the past couple years? What have like any of these gaming companies actually done to actually win niggas over on
Right.
some shit?
And I think that's the whole gist of it right there. I don't think these niggas has done anything. Like I think they just rely on their go-to strategy of like we gonna put this out, niggas gonna fuck with it. It's just an arrogance thing, yeah. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
think it boils down to arrogance. So you look at Call of Duty, you look at some of the other, yearly games where it's like it doesn't matter if it's shit because it's another one coming out next year. So you can't even get as attached to it too. Like I remember playing Modern Warfare and I was like, yo, this is such a great game. It sucks that a whole another one is gonna come out next year. Like they can't do that. You need at least a good 2-3 years with this one particular game.
Pretty much. Like and that's the shit. I'm glad you even brought up Modern Warfare because when you look at like Modern Warfare in itself, yo, like it's a great fucking game, like you said. But the thing
All
of it is,
around though, story and
all around.
and multiplayer.
And then when you look at Black Ops, it's like, yo, like how and why? Like how did it come? How did it fall this damn bad, this damn quick? You
Right.
feel me?
In a year. In a
In,
fucking
in
year.
a fucking year, like, and that was the thing, like, yo, like Activision was back in everybody's good graces
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
that
They
fiasco.
were. They definitely were. And it's
And
crazy because it's like they don't give a shit.
they don't. And it's wild as shit when you look at it for real, because motherfucking what's that shit? Vanguard that's coming out. It seems to be more polished than fucking Black Ops, but the thing of it is, nobody was asking for a World War II game.
Exactly. Nobody. Not a fucking soul. Nobody was like, yo, we need no fucking body was saying that. Like that just goes to what we were talking about throughout this whole fucking show. The companies don't listen to the individuals. And it's like, yo, it's crazy because it's like you when you're a forward thinker, when you're a culture mover, you can't think with the sheep. I understand that. But the thinking that these niggas doing is fucking stupid. It's like
Sheep thinking.
the people that's not running the companies, the people that's just sitting at home is telling you guys good ideas and shit like that. Like nobody would have been mad if they'd have been like, yo, we see how much y'all fucking with the Modern Warfare. We're gonna push the other Call of Duty back a year to give y'all guys some more time to do this and that. The community would have been like, bet. Like I'm not mad at that because it's like it's not a shitty Call of Duty. When it's a shitty Call
Hmm.
of Duty, you immediately like, oh, I can't play this shit. I can't wait till next year. I can't wait till next year. And it just
And
sucks
then next year it
because,
never comes with a good Call of Duty. It never
yeah,
delivers.
yeah, that's just kind of how it is with Ubisoft. Like, it's worse for them because they don't have heavy multiplayer and a lot of the games they rely on. So it's like once you beat the story mode, it's like I have to kind of like, you know what I mean? I got it. I'm looking to the next one because I'm not gonna go back and replay the story too many times. That shit is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that shit ain't that like, and like game developers, they don't sink as much into games like they used to. Like that shit be like a fucking facade. Like you look at something like GTA San Andreas, the Easter eggs alone on that motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? Like all that extra
Still
shit you got
wear
to
it to
do.
this day.
You see what I'm saying? Like, think about how much pre-thought had to go into that shit. How much forward thinking it had to be planned for. Like, niggas ain't gonna discover some of this shit till 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, shit like that.
And it's sad because that's how niggas is like still discovering shit on GTA till this fucking day. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like I remember the whole fucking Bigfoot fiasco with San Andreas that
Listen,
finally got
bro.
put to bed.
Right. Like, if you gonna make an open world game, give me something to do outside of the story. Like, you making an open world game to give me more runtime, basically, because I gotta run in between these large ass, dumb ass quests. It's not that it's so much depth into the level. It's because I gotta go from here to here to here to here to here to here. That's adding this extra
Mm-hmm.
time. I'm not exploring this world like that, really. I mean, it sucks, but that's just how it is. Like, they suck at, pulling niggas in that same way.
I don't know, man. It's just I don't know. It's if it's anything like I guess they can learn from this shit. If there is anybody from Ubisoft listening, yo, it's like
There's
take a
plenty of niggas
page.
listening, and these niggas, there's plenty of niggas listening. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm just
they
saying,
just not
you
acting
know how
on
that
it.
shit is. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yo, at least try to take a page out of a fucking company's book that's actually doing something that the people want. Like, look at how Ed Boon is moving with the Mortal Kombat franchise, man. Nigga, like he listens to the fucking
And
people.
and that's the difference though, bro. Like when you of the cloth, when you a man of the guild, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, you hand in hand with your community. You need to be because it's like I'm gonna get a plethora of free ideas that I don't gotta pay nobody for. Like, why the fuck would I turn my back on something like that? And I know niggas gonna fuck with it because the community wants it. Like, you
Oh
can't
yeah.
you can't get mad at the entire community is asking for a certain game mode. I.e., like, let's say Halo. When they put Griff Ball on there, everybody was asking for Griff Ball, came whatever. The community was happy. Nobody was upset, like, oh, what the fuck is Griff Ball shit? I know we asked for this shit, but this shit suck. No, you won't get that because the niggas that's asking for the shit generally want to see that the shit implemented in certain games. So you already
Hmm.
putting yourself a leg up. Rather than fighting with nigga, you cutting teeth. Like, niggas like, yo, we hate this feature. We don't like this shit. All right, well, fuck y'all. It's gonna be back in the next one. Like, what? Like, I'm paying you niggas $60, $70. It's just hard to think, like, companies be just that arrogant, yo.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's gonna be a time where we might look back and be like, damn, yo, you remember that game company Ubisoft? I'm hoping not because like they got some heavy hitters. Like I say right now, the thing that's really really holding near and dear to me is probably Rainbow Six. Like I feel like they just were able to like do something with that based off of the individuality inside of like what shooting games were. Like they took
Hmm.
like they looked at the landscape itself. Like you got Counter Strike, you got Call of Duty, you got Battlefield, and you got that. It's its own entity inside of a realm of plenty other shooters to the point where now it's other games copying the mechanics off of that to try to be a good shooter. You need more shit like that in your library, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit, yo, just bring Rainbow back to the actual what Rainbow niggas
Yo,
grew up to.
you
Bring
feel
fucking
me?
Ghost Recon
Like
back
that
to what
too,
niggas
yo.
actually
That
grew up to.
too, Tone. Like that's all you got
Like,
to do too, yo. It's that simple,
and,
yo.
and, and that's the thing. Like,
It's an empty
it's
market, yo. Like you look at like,
it is.
all right, so like, all right, let's say you got the biggest card fans or whatever, the biggest card boys or whatever you want to call them, and every single card player's just memory of greatness. The stealthy sniper missions be the best fucking missions, right?
All gilly the fuck up with
It be the
Captain
best missions
Travis
in the
and Price,
community.
my nigga.
And it's like, yo, you could build a whole game off of this. You know that, right? Niggas, nah, fuck that. Like, what? Like, what? Like, that's crazy, but you're not lying, yo. Like, I'm here for the OG Rainbow Six, nigga. I'm here for that shit. Like, and it's like, it's not around right now. And it's the craziest shit ever. Like, that shit'd go crazy
Hmm.
right now.
You can see, I can only imagine that shit now, to be honest. Like, and that's the sad part about it. I can only imagine that shit. Like, it's nothing tangible. You feel
Right.
me?
You
Just
look at
because of
something
how
like
these niggas move.
what is it? You look at Escape from Tarkov, right? You look at how they're trying to implement realistic mechanics into that shit. Which who started that? Like, where did that come from? You know what I mean? Like, that's already been around. It already happened. Like, and that's an open world game. Now, imagine if you just make it stripped down. Like, yo, this is competitive hyper PvP or some shit like that. Like, 2 bullets, you dead, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? None of this scope shit. We gonna drop you in a level. We gonna have this and have that. But you know, you got your demo man. You got this. You got that. Like, and
hmm
you gotta talk to your team and some tactical shit, nigga. That shit is out of
hmm
here, bro.
And shouts out to fucking Tarkov too, my nigga, because like I had a little time to play that shit on my nephew house and shit, and I must say, yo, like that's a fucking shooter
Shit don't
right
hold your
there,
hand,
nigga.
right?
From
Shit
nigga,
don't hold your
like
hand.
from the actual gun mechanics itself to how the gun breaks down
Yes.
itself. You feel me? Not only that, if you're a nigga that actually know ballistics and actually shot guns, my nigga, actually hearing like the different depth like perception from like the barrel from like being in a house versus being
Mm-hmm.
outside and shit. Like that game, like the detail for tactics on that game is phenomenal. You feel me? Seeing niggas strobing lights from like actually afar is a real fucking thing and all types of shit, bro. Like I love that game. I only had
Now,
about like 2 or 3 hours playing it.
how do you let a new kid on the block come and take some shit that y'all niggas been doing back on, like, not necessarily y'all, but the legacy acting itself has already had a history of like in that realm. Like, how do you let some new entity come and just and set some shit up like that? Like, that's what fucking Rainbow was supposed to be.
I
But
remember it was some remnants of Rainbow Six Patriot. If a lot of niggas remember Rainbow
yeah,
Six Patriot,
that's what it was
Rainbow Six
supposed to be.
Patriot was supposed to be that, and they scrapped that idea. Said fuck it, yo, we still gonna spoon feed y'all niggas this, yo.
Because fuck y'all. Like, I think that was the gist of the boardroom meeting. These niggas want this, well fuck them, we going with this.
hmm
I guess maybe it's not a whole huge base, but every nigga I talk to, like, yo, would you play a super hyper tactical shooter? Hell yeah, I'd play a super tactical hyper shooter. You even got Call of Duty when they introduced that new mode where it's like, you know, you don't got no lasers, none of that shit, like the harder core mode.
Oh yeah,
So it has to be a space for it. It has to be. But nah, man, they gotta get back into their good graces, man. Like, they gotta start pushing the boundary. They gotta start trying to reinvent themselves with some of these titles, man. Like, I'm tired of the same copy cut paste shit. Now, like, I feel like they're the company that does it the most. Like, a lot of their games, they 5, 6 deep inside of one series where it's the same game. That's not
yeah.
good.
And there's no progression in the fucking story whatsoever. Till this
Same
day,
story,
I
different
can't
skin.
tell you what the fuck Assassin's Creed is about. Like at one point, I used to was like, "Yo, Assassin's Creed is like a little timepiece for it was a nigga from our present day time and shit that got hooked up to a machine. Now
Some
this
Matrix
nigga,
shit.
yeah,
Like,
now this nigga is reliving his ancestors' history and shit. Sounds cool on paper. You feel me? Next thing you know, they just kept that shit running to the point these niggas even got a fucking movie. You feel me? Shouts out to Michael K. Williams. You feel me? He was in the movie as well. That was probably like the only fucking like good thing about this shit.
that's just crazy. Like, the repetitive is real. Like, it's a lot of repetitivity in like the gaming ethos right now. A lot of copy
hmm
cut paste, a lot of niggas copying off each other homework and shit like that. And it just makes for like a non-joyful gaming environment, yo. From like the Titans, like, niggas already like got EA in bad regards, niggas got Activision in bad regards, niggas got Ubisoft, and these are fucking juggernauts. So it's like, if you at the top of if you at the top of the fucking food ladder, why is other games, other entities outdoing you? Like, why is niggas having more fun on the Ark? Why is niggas having more fun on fucking
Fortnite,
Fortnite's
Apex.
fucking Apex? Not I say not even them.
Apex is motherfucking EA.
More
Shit,
so the
man.
games where it's like, yo, a upstart game like a PUBG or like a Escape from
Mm.
Tarkov or Tarkov. Like, it's crazy to think that these games are more highly like reserved in like the community amongst gamers right now than these juggernaut fucking companies, the shit they putting out.
Yeah. I mean, it only comes in time just throughout the ignorance. You feel me? Like it's just proven. You feel me? Like those who refuse to actually just heed warnings will always leave in the dust, yo. And it's it's slowly happening. You feel me? A lot of gaming companies going under when it comes to bankruptcy. You feel me? Wasting the
Mm-hmm.
money inside of a lot of shit and shit. So it's only going to come for real, and that's when they're going to pay attention.
When they ain't got a choice. We seen
Hell
THQ
yeah.
get out of here. We seen a lot of gaming companies fall. Sega, like, so I don't understand the arrogance that some of these niggas be having sometimes. I know you got a large plethora library and all this other stuff, and you feel like you're invincible, but even the Titanic sunk, my nigga. So take that,
Hmm.
take that with you. What you want to leave the people with, my guy?
Shit, my niggas. Niggas is back. Niggas is active. Make sure you niggas is listening to all the episodes, even the previous episodes. You feel me? Still got a lot of nice little gold gems inside that bitch that is still relevant to this day. Not only that, my niggas, I hope you niggas are still eating your fucking fruits and veggies and drinking your waters, all that good shit. I'm gonna leave the rest of the doobly doos to my man Cam over here.
Yeah, speaking of the Doobly Doos, if you want to be a part of what we got going on, you can jump in our community right below in the Discord chat. All of that stuff, the link is available right below in the description or bio, wherever you consume this at. So yeah, definitely want to be privy to that. Definitely want to become gang and all that great stuff, so you can be paying attention to what we got going on for future endeavors and stuff like that. Got brand deals on the way. We got fucking merch deals coming, all of that stuff. So you definitely want to be in the realm of knowing what's going on with that. It's going to do it for this one. It's been another great episode. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Peace.
Adios.